40 growth, so.
Oh.
On top of those.
Did you know the one on Barefoot that got shut down, that company? Sound like some.
Services, yeah.
Okay, you guys are like,
They're shut down over the west, $700,000.
Good morning, everyone. Today is July 10th, and this is the meeting of the Design Review Committee. This is a hybrid meeting. We have one member on Zoom and two here live. So again, I should have asked before we started, do we do roll call vote? We have one person on Zoom.
Believe you have to, yeah.
Okay. So we make sure that we can make sure that everyone's accessible. I'll take a roll call vote. Lisa Maselli.
Here?
Mark McMenamin.
Here.
And I'm here. And I see staff is here. We have Lori and Bob here.
Good morning.
Don't forget
Okay.
our next person.
So, oh, and there is an intern here. His name is Rowan. Are you an Algonquin student?
Yes.
Is an Algonquin student? Is he interning the planning department?
Yes, so he's shadowing Vinnie Vignali, our conservation agent. And also spending some time with me.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
First on the agenda is we have a continued discussion of parking requirements. And Mark had sent them to me and I will forward them to Lori and Bob. And do you want to explain? You just did the update, right? You
Yeah, I just
updated-
updated what we talked about at the last meeting, so. You just have to review it, make sure I got everything. There's a lot, we can't publish it or attach it to anything yet until the planning board changes a few words here.
So Lori, maybe if you check it after, make sure everything, you feel everything was caught too. We can, should we bring it up at the planning board? Or we can-
There's two documents, one lists the changes that the planning board needs to address. One is, changing the wording on you for the multi-use. You add 5,000 feet, stuff like that.
Okay, so maybe we'll discuss that one more time before we go to the planning board, just to. Just a quick, nothing major,
Call that document on.
for sure. Well, we don't have to discuss it today, but we can discuss it at our next meeting.
Oh, you can look, it should be self-explanatory, but, if you remember what we talked about last time.
I think
So, it's been a while.
No.
Oh, okay.
This is, I sent to her for review before it goes to her. Distribute.
And I dropped it off.
I can quickly, one was just spelling theater correctly, bowling alley, changing to lane. Either defining what we mean by berth or changing it to bay, space, or whatever for loading. And the mixed use where it could be interpreted different ways, whether you get 25% off the total or only the incremental increase. And it does literally say total, so I think I would say, incremental, but you guys can work out how you want to do that. And then I gave you some. Says of the working for Grafton, Marlboro, Millbury, Shrewsbury, Southborough, Spring. So that's.
Okay.
Changes to, those changes to what's currently in the parking requirements that you're thinking of?
No.
Or just basically cleaning it up and making.
Yeah, it's making sure that getting rid of ambiguity. Hopefully.
Okay, I will forward that along today. And then, actually, speaking of the next meeting, I heard through the grapevine, we might have an application for next month.
We do, yes, so I was contacted by Millie's team. And they are interested in going on our next design review committee meeting, so they're not ready to file for site plan review yet. It's just the preliminary discussion. So I haven't received the application yet. I told them that I will need it, because I'm gonna be on vacation, so a minimum, I believe I told them July 31st. So they thought that they'd be able to get that in plenty of time, so.
And I wasn't gonna be here in August, so. But I don't wanna prolong them, so I did say you know, I saw Dario in passing and I said, do you think you could do July 31st? Cause I knew you were on vacation. And he said it's super preliminary. And I'm like, well,
No, that's just for filing.
oh, I know, but I won't be here in August, so I,
Oh,
could we-
you're not here for
I was
that.
gonna ask you guys if everybody else could meet maybe on July 31st to have the meeting. Cause I hate to bump them till September. And I know you're out the first week and the second week I'm gonna be out.
I don't know if they're gonna be ready by then.
He was gonna check today,
Okay.
cause I just saw him last night, I ran into him and he said, oh, we're going to August, I'm like, oh my god, I'm not gonna be here. So I said, but I will be here July 31st, so I mentioned I'd ask you today.
Okay,
And he said, you
Yeah.
guys have already seen it, so,
what we saw was
Yeah.
real rough schematics.
yeah,
You know, and we just kind of pointed out some of the things that you guys might be interested in seeing, but you know, it's just advisory, kind of guiding them along.
right,
And that was all it was, because the first time they came to us, then it was twice. First time they had like 11 different scenarios,
yeah,
and then we whittled it down to maybe 2. And they picked the one they feel most comfortable with. So the second visit, they had the scenario that they're looking at. And, you know, we're talking about parking, was what, you know, Vinny was in on, Spurs right there. You
right,
know, Josh was there because of the sewer house is there, all that stuff, so it was more like that stuff.
okay,
I currently am available on the 31st.
okay. When would they have to get it to you to get on that?
And we want it at least a week in advance, so
Okay.
that would be,
2 weeks.
yeah.
I could ask them. If he can get it to you, I bet, cause maybe they're done, I don't know. I'll ask him or I'll have him reach out to you. But when he said, oh, we're gonna be there in August, I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna be there, so,
Okay, yeah, I would need it by the 24th.
okay. Yeah. Cause the first week you won't be there. We could always. Alright, so I'll see if he can get the information to everybody by July 24th. And actually, Mark and Lisa, can you all make July 31st?
I put July 31st open so I can make it.
Okay,
Of the whole calendar. Good.
okay, so right now. Hopefully they can attend on July 31st.
Would you want it to be 9:30?
Or 9, whatever time works for them, you know, I think 9:30.
9:30 is always good.
Right,
I like the 9:30 better. Then there's any problems in advance, you've got a couple of minutes to try to squeak them out.
so okay, so 9:30, we'll go for it. All right, that sounds great.
9:30, 7:31. Okay,
Okay, so next on the agenda was continued discussion of design review guidelines. And Lori had sent out the latest updated version of the design review guidelines. The one section we hadn't really reviewed yet was signs. And I think Lori, you mentioned you had updated it.
Yes. So, page. So what I did is I took the changes that were approved at the April town meeting. And I incorporated those and they are shown in the red. I think in some it's looking blue text. So I just wanted you folks to see if you're on board with the wording. I did look through and I believe that originally we were talking about eliminating vinyl signs. But then we decided to just change the types of sign. You know, so it'd be wood, composite, stone, copper, so we didn't specifically say that vinyl signs are prohibited. Right? And we went back and forth so much on that one.
They're discouraged because of a lot of the materials used on a lot of the signs is a vinyl product.
So why don't I say vinyl and plastic signs are discouraged?
They're discouraged, yeah.
Well, it's kind of redundant, but. It's plastic, vinyl, so. To me,
right?
It's,
Well,
it might
I
be
guess
a good
if
idea
you're
to have
not an
both.
engineer, I picture plastic like the hard plastic and the vinyl like to be like the banner type.
and you,
Yeah, didn't we have that like flexible or something? So,
Well, the vinyl could be like a sticker on a plate,
yeah,
you know, whereas I believe the House of Pizza, I think is all plastic. It's just one big panel.
Yeah,
but windows aren't protected with vinyl, so.
Well, if it's
Vinyl transfers?
if it's transfer, that's typically a vinyl product.
Yeah.
That's stick on stuff.
so,
The problem with just leaving the not addressing it is that we are not gonna change any signs. We spent all this time on trying to make signs look different, and now we're just, nope, it's just gonna be the same. I don't
well, the
know.
guidelines, if, we can't say in the guidelines that they're prohibited if they're not prohibited in the zoning bylaw. So that was the decision made, was not to say that they're prohibited.
Well, that's what we get, that's what I just said. So why did we spend hours and days and weeks trying to make a different look when we're not gonna?
You did the same exercise when you did the design review guidelines for duplexes.
What do you mean?
I think it came down to not including the vinyl and plastic because of that town meeting where it got shot down.
Right.
Well, plastic is discouraged, that's fine. Yeah, we could do plastic including vinyl. No problem with that.
And the downtown signs are supposed to come to us now after the last town meeting. So if they come with a plastic sign, you could say, well, the guidelines discourage them. Can you think of something else?
We did do something about flexible signs, you know, banners.
Yeah,
I thought we transferred it into that area. To get what you meant by vinyl.
right.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is, vinyl can be used on a permanent sign, whereas, you know, banners by their nature, it's temporary.
Okay.
I'm trying to think, does the new Brazilian market, do they have a sign yet?
You know, and
They have a banner?
Yeah.
Do they know it's temporary?
I told them,
And the new people on that, the old Bank of America, they have the channel lettering,
Yeah,
like CBS and Nvidia.
yeah, that was approved before. Town meetings,
what time do you?
so.
It looks nice, though, I know, like, cause the video looks okay too at CBS, so in certain areas it looks okay.
Yeah, that's good to see on a case by case basis.
It's all how it's put together. You know, you can have vinyl lettering on a sign that looks like kibosh. And you can have a mixed media type of situation where it looks really cool.
Yeah,
You know, like you said, case by case, it's probably the best way to do it.
and the new plastic, like that blue square pizza, is that vinyl or wood?
It's
Like
probably a
plastic?
composite background and probably a composite lettering.
The
But it's
composite.
not interlit, it's lit from the outside.
Yeah, so I think maybe more than the plastic, it's the hard plastic that's interlit, the old. Yeah, is what we're trying to
Backlit.
get rid of, the black backlit lights.
Right.
Like there are certain ones downtown.
Yeah, most signs that I've been seeing going up anywhere in town, have not been internally lit by a lot of them just going straight to either no lighting at all, or they have the little arms that come out with the downlights.
Yeah. So they're catching on. Okay. I don't know if everybody's had time to read the, before today.
No.
Yes, so the sign types. So of course I tried to make that as clear as possible because there were some exceptions. So let me know if you think it's confusing.
I think with the encouraged projecting signs, it should have the slash blade signs. Cause we did have that one projecting sign in downtown that was a TV, remember that the coffee place? So when certain people have read projecting signs, they think, oh no, that's that Remember they played the baseball games on the outside of the
Yeah,
building?
turn the front window into a giant TV screen.
Right.
Whatever it is, it's a disconnect.
So when people read the projecting signs, they're like, oh no, you guys are gonna allow it now? So I thought there it should say blade. Slouch projecting,
One of
Well, you
the,
do define project. in the definition.
and I think you do projecting slash.
Oh, we don't
blade.
do guidelines.
Yeah,
just to make you guys aware, I came across a permit application down on 130 Main Street, the corner of Bridge. Want to do a lot of signs on one of the buildings, and of course, they have the covered walkways, like calling in.
Yeah,
They want to put signs up in there, but instead of a blade sign coming out from the wall, they want to hang it from the ceiling.
I've seen that before.
Yeah,
That looks cool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna call that a blade sign, because it's something that sticks out perpendicularly from the surface.
so it's hanging from the awning,
No, it's not from an awning, it's a hard porch, it's
canopy,
it's
oh,
it's a covered sidewalk, basically, right up next to the building. Okay, with a hard roof over it and lighting, and it's got posts, so you're walking like through an elongated porch.
Yeah, that looks pretty sharp. I've seen that done in various.
Yeah, because otherwise all the signs are pointing towards the parking lot. Can't see.
Yeah, you want them over it, yeah, it'd be over the parking lot.
These are actually within the footprint. And it's not attached to an awning, it's not an awning, fabric. Frame is hard structure with a ceiling, roof. Series of columns, so it's like it's column A. That's what I was thinking. But instead of coming off the wall and hanging. So
I agree. What's that?
just throwing that out there.
What street is it?
Main Street. 130 Main Street.
You've been in places that have had that.
Across from.
so it's like a porch and then they hang down.
Yeah. But they don't face, I think in this case, the sign face does not face parking lot. It faces the path of travel as you walk down.
Oh, okay, so it's in front of the businesses?
Yeah.
Okay, I can picture it now.
It is common.
It's,
Okay,
I'd like to get a little clarity. I don't know what building we're talking about on 130. What's it next to?
The one across the street from your house. Well, 2 streets.
The dental building?
130 is the project at the corner of Brigham Street. It's 3 or 4 buildings. The building in the back is apartments.
On the right hand
Insurance
side.
company on the right. It's across the street from the White Cliffs.
The Hunt's old house?
Tim Shays building.
Tim Shake's project.
Oh, with 3 buildings, the 3 buildings, 1 apartment and 2 businesses.
Yes,
That's
chiropractor.
130.
Yeah, chiropractor
I
insurance
was in the
company.
wrong area too, I was picturing the one
Oh.
across this house with canopy.
So you're talking, so that's the building that actually faces the main street with the porch.
I think it's that building, yeah.
Because the apartment's across the back, so that doesn't face anything but the parking lot. And then the side one, its back is to Brigham Street and the face is to the parking lot.
Yeah,
Looking at the middle building or the front building?
I think it's the front building, I'm not sure, I have not done the complete thing on it, but I think it's the building that's at the street.
That might be a good picture once it's installed to put in the design guidelines
Yeah.
and showing that that's okay.
Yeah.
So there be clarity on that.
If it works out the way we like the way it looks. So they're looking to put 1 or 2, because right now they have a small farm sign that's there. So they have 2,
Farmers Insurance Company is the one that wants to change the signage. What they have sent me, I believe is too many signs for their business spot
hmm,
under the new laws. So I told them to take a look at the new laws, sent them a copy, and I told them to please revise their application.
So they can do 1 directory sign and then they can do 2 other options. So,
how do they
But
get,
Big group, they can only have one, like there's one, like
Well,
the
this is
big
just one insurance company, it's
Yeah.
not the conglomerate sign for the whole complex.
Right,
This is just, they own, I think they own the whole first floor of that first building. And, or a big chunk of it, and they've got like 3 entrances into it, I think they want a sign in front of each door. I've issued the panel insert sign for the freestanding sign in front, that was no problem. But, you know, they wanted the blade signs, they wanted the signs to the windows. And things like that.
Because you're the window signs, that's
Yeah.
not part of the.
Yeah.
Now, they each can't have a freestanding sign, can they, if it's a group, if it's a whole group?
So
don't
if
sit
it's
there
a
on freestanding?
freestanding sign, then they can have a little
Yeah.
sign that goes on the freestanding sign, which is for the entire property.
Okay, I just wanna make sure not every like business there gets their own freestanding sign,
No.
because that would be too many.
Yeah, that would look silly.
Okay,
And they're looking to do window signs and blade signs underneath the overhang in three
Yep.
spots. That
That's what-
might be a little bit much.
I, whether it's a bit much or not, if it complies with the rules, that's what I have to allow. So
Well,
if they
that's
meet,
why we're talking about rules.
see- what's that?
That's why we're talking about rules right now, is to make these more clear so we understand what we're actually getting or expecting.
Yeah, but what you're dealing with, design guidelines are not rules, they're guidelines. The rules I follow are the ones that are actually printed in a book. Okay, that's what I have to go by, these are advisory.
I
so
get
they
it.
can
That's why
temporary
we're doing this.
window, right,
18%.
with like a sticker. Vinyl. And then, but a lot of those buildings make it look nice, it's clear
They
with,
do a nice job, I mean, it's, you know, and I don't know anybody who paints on glass.
and then. Like you said, there's a directory sign, that might be what that's 1 square foot, I think.
I'll see what they come back to me with.
Okay. But no new signs for downtown to add to our meeting for next week.
No.
2 weeks from now.
They have to have everything but two.
So under the sign type, I didn't specify the size, I put the size. For the window signs under. Window. So,
So in the future, when a sign does come in, would you give them a copy of like the sign guidelines? Cause that's what we do for an application, they get a copy of the guidelines, maybe just the sign part. And then they have to follow the rules, but they also get a copy of the guidelines.
I think I can take the sign guideline section once it's approved.
Yeah,
And post that to any application on our. Why can't I speak that? On the online permitting system.
Yeah.
As soon as they hit signs, usually there's an advisory that comes up, we did this with the ADUs.
That,
And we can, you know, they can have it as soon as they, like, as soon as they punch on signs.
that'd be good, yeah.
I can post this advisory.
I just seeing that. they-
Mark found the sign, you can show him, is that what it looks like?
Yeah, it's like, you know, you're under the,
yes,
Yep.
and then it's defined like blade sign.
Yeah.
No, I.
I mean, it's a sign that runs perpendicular.
Yeah.
Yep,
It is what they got for a definition, so as long as that definition matches this.
yep, a blade sign is suspended from the underside of a canopy awning, ceiling, marquee, roof, overhang.
Yeah.
Covered porch.
Something like, get rid of the ones that won't apply here.
Okay. Alright, that sounds good.
They're just in code us.
Lisa or Mark, did you guys have time to read Lori's changes to the sign section of the design guideline? It came in, you know, I think a couple days ago.
I looked at it, but I didn't go in depth into it, so.
Yeah, I read it too. I did.
I say, I just read through it and nothing jumped out to me, so. Didn't know my area of expertise. But I had one.
I think it's all important whether people read it, cause it is a lot. You know, and it would be easier to make less, but then you don't get what you're really looking for, so.
That is some sort of a, it's not a pushback, it's kind of that, it's even like ADUs. You know, when somebody says, you know, I wanna build an ADU, and they send me a form. And I fill it out and I say, yes, but there are conditions, it's support to be conditions. So I basically take the ADU regulation that was adopted, send it to them. And they call me back and they say, whoa, that's a lot. And I said, yes, it is. But if you're the applicant, it's up to you to understand.
Right,
And it's written pretty clearly, it's not,
right,
not a lot of room for interpretation. So,
right.
you know, it's written well, it's lengthy, but it's the applicant's job to understand.
Right, or hire an attorney that reads it for a number.
So one change I did not incorporate had to do with the switchboard signs, and that's because I figured that that wouldn't, you know, when people are coming through design review,
Yeah.
I don't know what the business is gonna be, whether they're gonna want a sandwich board sign or not, so I didn't think that it was important to put it in here. So I purposely left that out. But if you want me to add it in, well.
I've been kind of encouraging sandwich boards. One of the things, in this case, it's the Diamond Cafe, which is in Brittany's. They've got 3 freestanding signs. You may have noticed there was one big sign for Diamond. I had them remove it because it's a new sign. In my opinion, I'm sticking my neck out a little here, is that the entire property has to come up to standard.
Mhm,
So I met the owner.
mhm.
And I told him to take that multiple purpose panel sign, reapply, make it bigger, okay? And get rid of the diamond sign, get rid of the cleaner sign. And do what they did basically across the street. So it's one freestanding sign, multiple panels on it. And you can have, because it's, you know, only have 3 tenants in that building. 4 tenants. Each one of those panels could be fairly good size. You know, and I told him, I said, you know, it'll clean it up a lot more. I'm not so concerned about, you know, the stuff you've got on the windows, which is okay. But, you know, we gotta get rid of the 3. You know, come down to 1, make it a nice one. He's on his way to Greece when he comes back, so that's work with you on it. Oh,
Right. Well, thank you.
oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you, that's great. And where's the address on the sign? Does the big signs have addresses? They should, right?
they should.
So right now, I don't know if there's any. I know of the signs you speak, but some of them didn't have addresses as they were. I know the big diamond sign didn't have an address on it.
Right, and
That's
they
taken down, right?
removed it. Actually, they put signs up without a permit, so, the applicant was confused about how the process works.
Okay.
Although he's a professional sign maker, I would think he works on township.
right,
They're gonna have to have business on it, it's also already down, so.
okay, well, that'll look nice,
Yeah.
that's all.
And where would they put Bob, where are they gonna put the big sign? Is it gonna be where the big diamond sign was? Or, because that faces that a little bit of Bartlett Street, right?
They can put it anywhere they want on the property, as long as it's on their property and doesn't cause a visual hazard.
Yes, but I'm asking you, did they donate, did they say where they might do it? Because now you're gonna have a different kind of sign, which is gonna be larger. And because it's got such a short front with Route 20 driving by, you don't wanna have any, you know, visual impediments. So I'm just saying, like, where would they normally put it on that lot? Do you think on the corner? So that could be
It's
seen from,
For them to decide. Again, it's in the zoning bylaws. There is no restriction about where that sign goes, as long as it's on their property. And it does not create a hazard to traffic. If it's on the corner, it doesn't create a hazard to traffic, I'm gonna allow it.
I'm not saying that it shouldn't be, I'm just asking.
Hey, we didn't get that far.
But I also wonder, how large will they be able to make it?
The size requirements are in the book. All that comes to me when they apply for a permit, and I review the size of the sign, the height of the sign, the height of the standards that the sign is being attached to.
Mhm.
All that stuff gets reviewed during permit, plan review.
Is
And
it,
I believe it's 10 feet to the top of the sign, 12 feet to the top of the structure,
yeah,
okay? offhand, I forget the
Square footage,
square footage of the sign itself.
in each district is different.
Yeah, the street number of the sign. Is not counted towards the sign area, limited to 15% of this overall size or something like that, so it's. You know, all that stuff comes through when I do the plan.
Yeah. 32 square feet.
For the multi-panel sign.
Yeah, it's a freestanding sign, but maybe it is different from what they think.
Oh.
Oh, 2 or more.
Yeah. You might be-
Lots with 3 or more tenants, 50 square feet.
Mhm.
Height not to exceed 10, but like you said, up to 12. And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the number, the street number for the sign is in a different section of the sign code.
Doesn't the street number just go on the big sign itself, the big,
The bottom usually,
yeah,
right?
the frame of this big sign, it doesn't go on the individual
If
sign?
the multi-panel sign, one number right at the top is usually sufficient. Sometimes they put it vertically on a post. They did that down across from Monty's Pizza. And I think they got a variance to have more than 10 places on the sign. Okay, that was probably 4 years ago. But they had a smaller one, they went with the bigger one, and they went right to the limit and it came out fine.
And then isn't there another one there that's, the letters are changing right in front of that Monty's area? Like there's more than one sign there, there's like, because I took a picture of a couple of them.
Well,
Where a lettered sign in the grassy area. It's not a group sign, it's a singular sign.
I don't know what you're talking about, you'd have to send me a picture.
Okay. So does everybody wanna have a chance to read it closely and then we'll, at the next meeting? Like
think that-
Mark said, I read it, I didn't see anything. But if you have any changes that you're thinking about, you can send them to Lori in advance too, and she can forward them. Out to everybody. Okay. Anything else with guidelines? So this will be in the design review guidelines once we approve it. And then the check sheet will be on the back. And maybe and also the parking table. So that should be pretty thorough, that would be
Yeah,
good.
I would probably have to add. These changes to the matrix. Wanna do that or should I do that?
I can, but I have to. Is no numbering changes, I'm just worried about the links, whether they're gonna continue to work or. Go through those after, just to I'm sure.
Well, when the zoning bylaw is ultimately updated, then we may have to redo those lines.
Like a recodification.
Yeah, so what ends up happening is that it's kind of bizarre. So for the Attorney General, I have to incorporate all the zoning changes into the zoning bylaw. And then the town clerk sends that to the Attorney General. However, the printed version is based on the online version. So once it's approved by the Attorney General's office, the town clerk sends the changes to EPO. And then they do the same thing that I did. Of course, it takes me 1 to 2 days to do that, but for some reason it takes them months and months and months and months and months to do it. And so when they update the online version, then we essentially print it out and send it to the printer because that's kind of like the official. So it's kind of crazy, but it's our way.
It's E-code, it's their way, right? They.
I don't know why
Forever.
it takes so long. I mean, I imagine they have a lot of, we're still waiting for them to incorporate the changes from 2024.
You may not see the ADU. Changes incorporated. Because the last time I was at a attorney seminar talking about zoning updates. The AG's office back then, is back in May, has not released one voted on article about ADUs.
Because I know he submitted,
That was
it
for
was a
roughly,
few weeks ago. Typically, we're supposed to submit within 30 days. We don't always make that far. And then they're supposed to return their approval within 60 days.
it's either 60 days or 6 months, I forget which one, but it's
So
once a month.
probably we'll get it all of the other stuff.
Okay, that's our book, the latest is 2023.
So I started, printed out my version, which has everything incorporated. And I started using that, because one thing I've noticed, so I was explaining this to Amy. So when I was going through the, process of incorporating the zoning bylaws for the Attorney General's office, I noticed that our numbering didn't take into account the changes that we made at the prior town meeting. So, of course, I was using the updated version from last year that I did. And I'm like, oh no, now we go from 12 to 15. So there's no 13, there's no 14. So, and we did that a couple of different locations in the sign bylaw. So I explained that to Andy, the town clerk, who is going to include a note to the Attorney General's office explaining that it was a Scrivener's error. Any way we can fix it now instead of having to go to town meeting and address it later. So I don't know what the Attorney General's office is gonna say, but another thing, he said that money had already been allocated by town meeting for recodification. Or maybe it was ARPA funds, I'm not sure. So they have the money to do that, but that process hasn't started yet. So now Andy's retired, so we have a new town clerk coming on in a couple of weeks, so that will be that person's responsibility. So chances are it won't happen anytime soon, because it's a big endeavor, so.
But if it's ARPA, it has to, right? By a certain time.
Yeah, that's true, it has to be December 31st of 26.
Okay. All right, so we have parking design review, then the next was a downtown revitalization discussion. There was a recent community meeting. I don't know if we wanna discuss it.
We had about 30 people who attended. The unfortunate was the timing. We were hoping to have it before school let out, so that we could maximize the number of people there. But we just weren't ready. The design team wasn't ready, so it ended up being June 30th, so the week of July 4th, which wasn't ideal. So we didn't have as much attendance as we did the first time around. But I think overall, the feedback was positive. I think that both of the people were there. We're happy that the project will likely proceed, or at least we're proceeding with the design. We have to see what happens with the 2 grant applications. So there were a couple of suggestions for changes, like we were talking about the decorative streetlight, whether folks wanted to have banners or they wanted to have planters, and one person suggested the hybrid, which everybody seems to like, I think, so I think that's what Beta Group is going forward with.
Well,
Okay.
I attended that meeting and I think it was a 50-50 split. I don't think everybody that was there spoke up. But I know people talked to me before and after that meeting, and there's great concern about pushing forward with this. So I think that we're just getting into a time of financial difficulty, and we're gonna be adding on one more thing to the tax roster with trying to do maintenance and everything else. And is $2 million worth 46 parking spaces, is my question. That's a lot of money. It's not gonna be you're taking away some spaces. Why do you need a pergola? You've got 2 parks right next to this. It should be back to what it was, and it's a parking lot. And I think that we're moving forward on something that it's not a slam dunk. They said no at the town meeting, and I just don't understand why we're still putting all this energy into it.
Because we're under contract.
It doesn't matter.
Signed a contract for $250,000, so you go forward with the contract.
Well,
Otherwise, pay them, the 200, well, it's 197. You pay them and then you don't get the plan, so that's kind of the way that works.
well,
So,
we did that with the Tale of Three Cities, when with Weston and Sampson came in and did all their thing, and we're not moving forward with that. I think that the money that we spent on that, I asked you about this way in the beginning, and I said, what happens if it doesn't pass a town meeting? And you went, well, then it'll be an experiment. And I don't believe just because you've got a contract for $250,000 for a design group, that's worth moving forward to spend 2 million. That will then have to be a maintenance issue.
Lisa, as I explained at the meeting, the scope of work has been substantially reduced, so now it's 1.2 million. And 2 grant applications were submitted with the blessing of the select board. And if those 2 grant applications are funded, then 100% of the cost will be on the grant funders, not the town. So,
But not the maintenance of it and you've got to keep it up.
yeah, but right now it's a park. So the DPW is maintaining it now. Right now, there's a sidewalk, so the DPW is maintaining that, and there's a parking lot, and the DPW is maintaining that. So it's not a huge difference over what currently exists. All of that is currently being maintained by DPW.
But you're changing it. You're putting a pergola in, a fence in, more grass in, more trees in. That is going to require more work, and we've already got $50,000 ask every year now to maintain the dog park. That was not going to cost us any more money. I'm just giving you, there's other people that are speaking of it, and I just wanted to bring that balance in. So,
Okay,
I'm a little worried that, the property owners there aren't on board. Is they like key stakeholders?
Well, we have representation by the owner of 10 and 14 Lake Street, so the property manager is on our focus group. I've spoken with Deb Reynolds a number of times. And those are the property owners that have participated, so she owns the 2 buildings. There's a 19 and let's get my next one.
Sawyer's and the other one.
Oh, so there's a peak, the
Yep,
electric.
consignment.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, it's
31 Blake Street.
One person owns both of those?
a 19 weight.
It's
19
19
Swift.
Blake, and then the other one is like, it's 15. I should know.
It's
Maybe
okay.
it's 9.
It probably is, I think it's so.
So, yeah.
Probably is either 11 or 13.
It might be 9. But anyway,
It is,
I've spoken with
13.
her in person and via email. And she seemed on board with it. In fact, we were talking about how to incorporate her property into the new sidewalk. The goal being to kind of fix that area, because
Yeah.
it's kind of,
I see those 2 buildings that having the most to gain, so. Cause they've been. I mean, Sawyer's a good storefront that hasn't been used, I don't think in my lifetime.
They have very, very little parking.
and the others have been invited to every single meeting. I haven't heard from them. But they haven't expressed a lack of support.
Yeah, that's more what I'm worried about, I guess.
And of course, now we have Northborough House of Pizza on a focus group as well, Kristen.
Has Josephine gotten back to you at all in months? Yeah,
This is her fault, because if she maintained those parking spaces like they were from 2005, plenty of parking.
Well, she is, they are interested in making changes to their parking, so, but they do that independent of this project.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the aerial view where 4 West Main has got new lines. And theirs weren't maintained, because that becomes just a. What do you call it, a circus in the middle, in front of the restaurant, because there's no parking spaces lined out, that used to be parking spaces.
Yeah, we talked about, well, this proposal would at least provide a landscape separation between Blake Street and her parking lot. So then there would be potential for her to stripe that area and then have like more definition, more order to the way the cars are parked in her lot. Which I think would be.
Turns out those spaces weren't up to code anyway, 'cause it's only 20 foot for a wide road. Can't have. 20 foot wide road, has to be 24.
yeah, it's too bad that we lost touch with her. I mean, it's not your fault. I know she's traveling and yeah. She told me once the owner doesn't really want to put any more money in.
Yeah, I did speak with her, probably the last time I spoke to her was. Maybe early May. So it was after town meeting. But yeah, she's. Tough to get a hold of.
Yeah, and plus she has to talk to the person in China who doesn't want any money in, 'cause she said her taxes will go up if she does any renovations.
Yeah, that's.
Which is like-
The definition of a slum ball.
Which is sad for downtown revitalization if the businesses don't want their taxes to go up, so they're not gonna wanna do any work to their buildings.
Well, I think that's the problem we've had all this time, is this is not a cooperation of businesses like they do. Hudson has its own business organization of all the businesses that are involved, which they donate money or tax or their own.
It's not a program you tried to implement and you were rejected?
Yeah, I mean, I tried to, well, as you know, tried to get ARPA money to pay for improvements, but that.
Yeah.
Was taken away.
So,
Kind of
Yeah.
it's been an uphill battle since day one, and even with business buy-in, we haven't had a lot of business buy-in. I mean, it'd be lovely to look a little bit better, but if the rest of the town isn't gonna jump in on it, or downtown, again, it's almost, like you said, an exercise as opposed to a reality. I mean, the railroad tracks are not gonna do anything. The railroad company has never, ever cared about their look of their railroad tracks. It's the functionality.
Yeah.
46 feet.
CBS said their office, their district manager won't give them money for landscaping.
So it's just, it's not up to taxpayers to pay for the downtown look because the businesses don't wanna participate. And again, we're coming into Prop 2.5. People are not happy. I think it was pretty apparent at last town meeting.
Okay. Well. We'll keep trying with our guidelines, see if we can move forward in that direction. Next on the agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes from 6/16/25. I have some changes. But they were sent out this morning. I'm not sure anyone had time to read them. If you wanna.
I mean, you just expanded on some of it. Just fine.
Okay. Did you have any changes, Lisa? Did you have time?
Yeah, I had a couple. I looked at it. The first thing on page 2, what's yellowed, which says discuss errors. If the computer may have taken this, but Laurie just spoke the word that Andy was.
Right.
Oh, so that should be corrected. What is the spelling of that word?
I crossed it out because I didn't think it was a word, but then I heard Lori say it, so I guess it's a word.
What are you talking about?
The scrivener.
The scriveners mean like typos.
But is it redundant? If it means typos and then we have errors next to it?
Well, Scrivener is the person who wrote it. So the Scrivener made the error. So that's what that means.
All right,
So,
so is that spelled correctly?
so she's taken, that's fine.
So we could leave it there, or we could take it out either way. I guess
No, I like it, I think it's,
You like-
to expand our horizon.
expand my vocabulary. I actually thought it was like a I thought it was the minutes were how do they do it? What does Grok do?
Oh,
Transcribe, and I just thought it was a weird transcription. I guess
yes, if you accidentally put it into old English mode.
but if we want to keep it in there, we can, seeing it's a word.
A new word of the week.
Which,
Right, that's what I did. I'm like, oh,
We-
that's a transcription error. Boom, I didn't even Google it.
Yeah, okay. So that was one of the easiest ones I could find.
So you leave it back in there.
I would put it back in, provide, make sure it's spelled correctly. I don't know if there's Scrivener's, might be. And if that's the case, then why would it not be capitalized if it's a person's name?
It's not my name.
It's improper now,
It's a proper noun, okay.
not a proper noun, I guess, is a better way to say it.
All right, on the paragraph above, the committee discussed changing the parking to include some spaces in front of buildings versus parking on the side and rear of buildings. I think the word only parking should be versus only parking on the side and rear of buildings. Because you're adding to it, right?
Well, right now, yeah, I mean, our zoning bylaw says you will park on the side or in the rear of buildings.
Right, but all basically only, so. Makes sense.
Okay.
Only on the side right there. I just changed the
You're talking about-
paragraph itself to say what I thought we were talking about. Cause you guys were talking adding places to the front.
I don't think there's a hyphen between the in and front.
Okay. Give me a spelling.
That's a Scrivener's error.
Oh, not another one of those. Oh, my goodness. And then there's a line that says, when Ms. Maselli questioned what happens when the road needs to be widened, my always questioning. But the answer to that wasn't there. Like some of the minutes, I was looking through this, and some of the minutes will talk about discussion, but they don't say where the discussion went. And I think the part of minutes is the most important, is to give you an idea of what was discussed, not that a discussion ensued. So there's a couple of spots where that appears.
Well, generally, we put discussion ensued because sometimes the discussion has nothing to do with the topic at the end. It's like, oh, you know, all sorts of, side tracks that really
Yeah.
don't belong in the meeting.
Yeah, and it's
So-
really a good thing to,
But I do like to have a little like where we ended up at the end after our,
yeah, cause I don't remember.
right, I read the minutes like, oh, what did we decide at the end?
So,
Right.
your- I'll change board to committee because technically it's not, a board, it's a committee.
I just added my changes for what I remembered, and then if you had anything else you wanted to add.
Yeah, I've got, obviously, there's a couple that I'm looking at with the 251 Main. I asked last week about, not last week, last month, that the building, I said the building should probably be condemned. It's the only thing holding it up is the wisteria, which is quite lovely. And I think it's a health hazard, but when I asked, Bob said he was aware of it. So the ladder still remains up on the roof part that's wide open. What do we do about that? I mean, that's probably maybe calling the health department, but I was, I'm concerned. I saw him working in the garage. The garage door was open and he was inside the garage working on a vehicle. The vehicle's on the outside. But
the health department will not do anything on that structure that is not within their purview. Okay, even though the building is ugly, if it's not structurally unsound, he's allowed to keep it that way.
So has it been checked to be structurally sound?
I'm gonna make an appointment to go out and see it.
And now you know, well, you obviously know it's not owned by the tenant. It's owned by a third party.
I don't care who owns it. If it's structurally sound, it's fine. If it's not structurally sound, they'll have the opportunity to make it structurally sound.
All right, and
Or I order a tear down, which I'm very unlikely to do.
This even something that covered design review.
What, to fix it?
No, talking about an existing building,
No, it doesn't.
so.
so do we have some sort of timeline on this? This buildings look like this for years. Are we working on that
There's no timeline, to be honest with you. I'm way too busy doing other things that are way more important than a structure that's been there for 100 years. I mean, I will get to it, but it's not gonna be anytime soon.
That's true.
I've got a lot of stuff on my plate. I've been asking for more help for the past 8 years since I got here. I haven't received it. I have to triage everything I do.
We did get you help. The select board gave you a new person or a full-time person for at least 3 months last year or the year before.
It's an
That did-
emergency call that was done by the town administrator, okay? I've been asking for permanent full-time help and it's fallen on deaf ears. So if I'm limited with time, something's gotta give.
Yes. No.
Okay. Do you have a change to the minutes there, though?
I do, I'd rather type it out and let you see it and then,
Okay, so you're just gonna send it to Lori and we'll talk about it next time after the applicant.
yep,
And then I'll look at the April minutes too, because I didn't have time to read them yet. So we'll just push both minutes to the next meeting. And hopefully on the 31st. I'll reach out to Dario and see if they can get that stuff a week before the meeting. And
Yeah.
I'll let everybody know.
okay, that'd be great. And I'll ask this question, I ask it every time. Are we not going to change the design of the review guideline booklet? We talked about doing it like Medway many, many times. I've offered to help.
So I interviewed some candidates for the temporary position on Monday. And I believe we have somebody, it's not official yet. So that person would be charged with updating the format.
Okay, so by next meeting, we'll know if we have a new person and then we'll have these approved, which will help, and then that person can update them all.
Great,
All right.
thanks.
Thanks. Does anybody else have anything they want to talk about? That is on the agenda. Okay, hearing that, I'm gonna take a roll call vote. In the meeting, it is 10:40. Lisa Maselli.
Wait a second, don't we have to move?
Oh, sorry,
Motion to close the meeting?
motion to close the meeting.
I'd like to make a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Lisa Maselli.
Yes.
I have Mark McMenamy.
Yes.
And I'm an I. Next meeting, you'll have to come so I don't have to do any roll call votes. All right, and plus it will be easier to see the design with the applicant.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that would be nice.
Okay. All right, thanks, everyone. I'll see you hopefully on the 31st.
Bye now. Thanks